0.88 fancy pink surrounded by green, yellow diamonds and 4 amethyst gemstones to represent the 4 grandchildren that the grandmother you're about to sell this custom piece of jewelry to wants. Selling custom jewelry, something unseen, takes some serious work. Now, what I've said isn't a real ring, but if you sell high-end custom jewelry, well, this video is going to give you 4 tips that you need to know to be able to become more effective at it. Like tip number 1. That is, has your customer ever purchased something custom before? Now, knowing this is going to make a significant difference in your sales process, in the sales cycle overall, because if the customer has purchased something custom before, they understand some of the premiums involved with this. So where are you going to find this out? Are you just going to outright ask them, have you purchased something one of a kind before? You might, depending on where you are in the sales cycle and where you are in the relationship. If this is a person that has already come into the store several times, then you might already know the answer to this question because they've spoken about their home, they've spoken about their car and some of the work they got done with it, they've spoken about something that is one of a kind. Now, knowing this about your customer is going to help you move further forward in the process with understanding of custom means value, means time, means additional effort, means so much more work goes into this compared to everything else that they see in your store. So that is step number 1, making sure they understand that. If they don't understand that and they haven't purchased something custom before, then you need to be the person to be able to introduce them into this area of things, which means you're building some significant amount of value around custom work, which we're going to get into with step number 2. And this is understanding what custom jewelry really means. So, of course, when you're talking about the value behind this, what goes into sketching a piece that they've explained to you that they want, what goes into the making of a plaster mold, what goes into the making of that gold, because maybe they want a certain brightness in rose gold as well. Like, there could be limitless amounts of things that this person might then end up wanting when they come into you with this request, or you're working on that idea and you present the custom piece to them. Now, I would highly recommend, and this is something a little bit extra, if it comes into custom jewelry, that you present it to the guest compared to the guest coming in and giving you the idea, because you understand what is possible, what might be realistic, and based on the customer's previous spending capabilities, you can then present something that is realistic based upon what you know they have already spent or acquired with you. This is, of course, if it is a current customer of yours. So when it comes into what do you share, of course, take this into consideration depending on what the person then values. Some people, especially when it comes into the area of buying custom jewelry, don't really care about the whole process surrounding what it takes to make that piece. And some people really do care about all the little intricacies that goes into making a plaster mold, that goes into the creating of that bright yellow 14 karat gold compared to a lighter or a darker yellow 14 karat gold also, because if the person cares more about that, then you better know your stuff, and you better know what causes that difference in color for 14 karat gold to look brighter or 14 karat gold to not look as bright. Now, if you would like me to create a video surrounding that, then please do scroll down to the comments and let me know as well. Now let's move into step number 3. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'm actually going to give you a bonus step, step number 5, or tip number 5 also. Now, step number 3 is going to be before you present this piece to this guest, or when this guest does come in, this is where you're going to need to know your inventory. You're going to want to present something you have in the store that is already similar. Now, why is this important? Because if it's already similar, then the mold itself, the setting, if the setting is already something that is being built in it, it's as simple as changing around maybe some different gemstones or diamonds into that, then a couple things is a big bonus here. Number 1, it is possible that it can be done. Now, why is this even a conversation we're having in this video? Because maybe the store that you're working with cannot do much custom work. Like maybe they cannot change the mold, maybe they cannot change the actual setting itself, because that takes more work as well, from removing prongs and rebuilding a basket for the gemstone or diamond to sit into. So first of all, if you have something in the store and it's simply changing the gems or changing the diamonds, then that is more likely to be possible in most jewelry stores or with most jewelry companies at least. Then of course it is understanding the inventory that is available of diamonds or gemstones of the size the person is then requesting. Based upon the size they are requesting, if you understand a little bit more about the market and with the company that you're with, one of the easiest ways would be knowing, is there similar designs that might utilize gemstones of that size? So let's say you're a jewelry store sales associate and then you're going to go up to your manager, or you have to place this request with someone. If you know there are other pieces that use gemstones of a similar size, then it's a good chance that they're going to say, yes, we can get that done for you. Now, that would be a big portion of it with step number 3. Now, still, we haven't spoken about price yet. So let's get into step number 4 with that. Now, getting into the price point of disclosing how much might this be, because basically you are selling thin air at that stage. So selling thin air can be a bit more challenging. So after you've built value, they've understood a little bit of the process of what goes into creating a piece like this. They've understood it might take 12 weeks for this to then happen. After they understand that, how much do they think this might be? Well, one of my fun ways of kind of getting this information out of a guest is saying, take a guess. How much do you think, based on what I've told you, that a piece like this would then end up costing? And get them to throw a number out. And don't worry, there's no right or wrong. I'm just curious, like, what's your opinion? What do you think something like this would be worth? And after they throw that number out, ideally you wanting it to be higher than what the value might then end up being. Now, of course, this is where you have to know the market as well. When it comes into custom jewelry, if this is your first time even thinking of, can I sell something like this? Then you better start speaking to other people in the company that you're either working for, or you better start sourcing these kind of gemstones to be able to know, okay, what is the average price point of these? So, and where can I acquire them from as well? If you are a business owner, you're a jewelry company and you are making these custom pieces, but you haven't gone to that step of where can I acquire these different gemstones from at the right cost for me to be able to create a piece like this. Understanding part of the market, so when this does come up as being a possibility, you at least know numbers. Now, one of my favorite websites that you can easily refer to, I've used it as I've joined it before as well, which is the IGI. Now, the IGI does have, for all of their members, a listing of different price points for different qualities of gemstones in several different categories. So this might be an easy gauge for you if you're regularly getting these opportunities or these possibilities with custom work. I would then recommend signing up with them. Now, I'm going to leave their link down in the description of the video also, so you can check them out as well. IGI, the International Gemological Institute, is a great educational platform as well. Now, let's get into final step, and this is the bonus one, step number 5. This would be watching this video next, which is 10 steps on building rapport, because your ability to be able to sell something out of thin air, meaning it's a piece that a person's going to place a deposit down for or pay the full amount for before you do start work on it, you need to be able to correctly engage with that person in front of you. And the closer you are with them, the more rapport you do have with that person, the better your chances are of creating that custom piece of jewelry. And I know that's where a lot of the profit margins can be, and some big dollars can then be made. So watch that video